Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Binman and today you are tuned in for a super fun makeup tutorial. I have been looking in my closet kind of for a refresh of my kind of winter transition into spring wardrobe, and I found this dress, which is definitely more of like a fall dress with all the colors, but I've tweaked it a little bit with some accessories and I wanted to create a makeup look for those of you who are kind of craving a warmer makeup look and also who want to bring in some of maybe your past pieces as we transition out of winter and into spring. So if you want to see how to get this makeup look, stay tuned. Let's get started with the tutorial. I've done my skincare, I've washed my face, and now I'm ready to prep and prime my skin. So I'm going to start with the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, just a little bit on my ring finger, and then I'm going to take my other ring finger, split it, and put it on my eyelid all the way from my lash line up to my brow. And I'm not putting it in my brow. I don't want to mess with that. And doing the same thing on the other eye. A lot of brow products already have wax or silicone in them, so you don't need the additional silicone from the primer to help it out. I am going to go in with the Bobbi Brown Corrector. I'm still kind of getting over a little bit of a cold, and I feel like this just really helps to truly brighten up my under eye. And just kind of dabbing really light dabs with my ring finger. Your ring finger is your weakest finger, which is why we use it around the eye area. Okay, we are doing kind of a daytime smoky eye, so nothing with like really dark colors, so we can go ahead in with the complexion and not really worry about anything getting out of hand. So I'm going to go in with my GIORGIO ARMANI 4.5 Luminous Silk Concealer, and I'm just lightly putting that on with the wand that comes with the product, and then I'm going in with my fluffy concealer brush, and I'm using pressing motions just really lightly, almost using the brush as an extension of my finger. And then I can go back in with my actual finger and lift off any excess that maybe the brush missed. Just making sure that any discoloration is gone. Also giving the concealer time while I'm doing my eyes to sink in, move around, and then I can take up or add whatever I need to at the end. Going in with, again, GIORGIO ARMANI Luminous Silk 4.5 in the foundation, pumping it on the back of my hand, taking my ring finger, doing a few dots on my cheek because that's where I have the most redness, and again I'm bouncing my brush and then blending out the edges. Usually we don't have discoloration along our hairline and our jawline, but if you do, if that's where most of your redness or maybe sun damage or anything like that is, that's where you want to put your foundation first, because wherever you place it first is where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck with the foundation. But mine is more towards the center of my face. You can see on my nose I have a little bit of discoloration here, but not so much here. So I would never place anything right there first. That wouldn't make any sense. Something to note too is that sometimes the skincare that you use, depending on the ingredients that are in there, might cause a little bit of extra blood flow into the skin in the morning. So you might see redness where normally you wouldn't see redness, like at night when you take off your makeup. Sometimes when I use essential oils and products, all of a sudden my skin gets a little red. It doesn't hurt. It just gets a little red. And I'm just bouncing my brush, making sure that everything is nice and blended. I have a little bit left on my hand. I'm going to dab on the back of my hand and pull that foundation down onto my neck, especially because I do have a lower neckline today. I want to make sure that everything matches. But you can tell that you can still see my skin peeking through. That's my personal favorite kind of foundation. I don't want my foundation to block out my skin because I take pretty good care of my skin and I have like a decent diet, so my skin is pretty good. It's really just evening everything out. Alright, now we are going to tightline our eyes with the Rock and Kohl from Charlotte Tilbury. Actually, just slightly pulling up on the lid. Making that lash line look a little bit thicker, a little bit more prominent. And I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this because I feel like it's lasted much better on my waterline than the Bobbi Brown one did. So for anyone who's kind of thinking about starting tightlining, the Charlotte Tilbury I think is smoother on the waterline and stays. However, because it stays, you really have to get a good oil makeup remover because it is a little bit of a doozy to get off. Same with my Smokey Eye Mascara. Alright, now we're going to go in with the eyes. I don't want to powder yet, just in case I do want to add a little bit of concealer later, because sometimes, depending on which eye cream I'm using, it can get a little, it can disappear a little bit. So actually I'm going to do my brows first in Sandstone and Brun. Just dipping into those with my angled brush from Sigma. Finding any sparse spots where my hair is naturally lying. Going in the same direction as the brow hair wants to go. And I very foolishly, a long time ago, shaved my brows in the shower. That was a silly thing to do. So I am missing quite a bit of my front brow here. It doesn't bother me unless I'm doing something really artistic where I want major symmetry. But if I wanted to really get my brows symmetrical and my face symmetrical, then what I would do is I would go in with something like the Brow Wiz from Anastasia, and I would have to individually draw in the front part of my brow. Don't do anything with your brows in the shower. I did not have a mirror. I was just being foolish. Using more Sandstone in the front of my brows than in the back, and more Brun towards the outer half than in the inner half. Okay, now we're going to go in with our colors. So I'm basing it off of this dress that I have, which I really love. It's such a great transitional dress from fall all the way through spring because it has so many fun colors. So there's obviously the main color is black, and then there's oranges and yellows, pinks, and teals. So we are going to play up a little bit of that warmer brown eye look. So I'm going to go in with soft brown first, and then we're going to play a little bit with Cork. We're going to do Woodwinked, and then Ricepaper as well. So definitely a warmer look, but sometimes in the winter, I just feel like I'm over the cool eye looks, obviously depending on what I'm wearing. But I start to crave that warmer eye look around this time of year. And this is just a great way to kind of dip your toe back into warmth for your makeup. Especially if you are using some of your pieces from fall, which are typically quite warm. Then this is a really good one. So soft brown is pretty pigmented, at least on my skin tone, and on the 201 from BK Beauty, I really like to saturate the eyelid and then bring it up into the crease. Again, this step does not need to be perfect. It does not need to be really anything. We're just getting our shadows placed. We're getting them down. Now I'm going to go in with the 203 into Woodwinked. I'm going to start in the center of the lid. And I'm going to focus more on that halfway to inner corner. I'm not going to put it in to the actual inner corner of my lid because I'm going to save that for Ricepaper. This is another one of those shadows, just like Satin Taupe and All That Glitters, that is just the perfect blend between being, it's not even shimmery, it's just like such a lovely shadow. It gives a little sheen, but it's not glittery. It's just well done. Well done, MAC. Okay, 217, I'm going to go in with Cork. I don't want this eye look to become too smoky because I do want it to be daytime appropriate. And we're going to start working on that outer third. Relaxing the face. So for all my green-eyed, hazel, blue eyes, this is great. Again, brown eyes, you can just do whatever you want. So, like, all looks are good for you. Hazel's another one of those that's pretty chameleon-like. You can absolutely, you don't really have to think about it, which is nice. I'm just going in again with a little bit of soft brown and softening that cork. Just a touch. Tapping my finger if I feel like I need to lift it up just a little bit. Same thing on the 217, bringing cork into the look. Cork isn't as orangey pink as soft brown is. It's definitely more of that, it's like a warmer neutral brown. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily darker. It's just not quite as, you can tell, you can see where soft brown is. Soft brown is potent. So pretty though. Just doing soft brown all over the eye would be really pretty just by itself. Maybe with a pop of something else, just to kind of break that up. All right, now I'm going to take my finger into Ricepaper and I'm going to put that on the ball of my eye, right in the center, right where your eye kind of pops out of your lid the most. And then I'm going to take my 207 into Ricepaper from BK Beauty and put that on the inner corner. Gorgeous. All right, now we are going to do a little liner. I want to keep, again, I want to keep this look a little bit more daytime appropriate. So I'm going to go in with Chocolate Shimmer from BOBBI Brown, and I'm just saturating my angle brush that I used for my brows. I'm going to get my kitten wing. You hear the name Chocolate Shimmer and you think that it's going to be quite shimmery, but it actually is not. It's just a nice chocolatey brown. Maybe if you were to put it, feature it more on the lid, it would have a little bit more of shimmer, but I've never found in photos or in real life where I thought, I'm wearing a shimmery eyeliner. I should probably rename that. Okay, taking a step back, checking the balance on both sides, and I think I need to tweak this one just a little bit. You always do one eye a little bit better. And sometimes it's just making that triangle a little bit bigger. I have a tendency to do that on this side and not on this side. And I can always go in with my primer if I feel like I need to balance that out a little bit more. But I'm happy with how that has turned out. And I'm going to knock off what's on my brush, on my 217, just on the back of my hand. I'm going to go back in. I'm actually going to blend soft brown and cork together on my 217. And I'm just really lightly going to bring that down on my lower lid. I've talked about this in other videos. I have a bit of a lower lid that kind of puffs out sometimes. And if you have that as well, it's totally a great idea to put eyeshadow there, because it's just going to help kind of de-emphasize that aspect. You will have a little bit of a smokier eye, but that's okay. All right, going in with our primer from Dior, getting right into the roots of the lashes. Going right on top of that primer. The white does vanish. I've never had a problem of not being able to cover it up with mascara. However, if you want to use a primer, an eyeshadow primer for, say, like Halloween, if you're doing like an icy look or something like that, that could be really cool. You'd have to really coat it on though, because it does have a tendency to fade away. But maybe if you can get your pictures done quickly, it'll make a little bit more sense. Smokey Eye Mascara reminds me of when they used to put charcoal, or like burn matches to get mascara. It's just got that really great kind of dark charcoal black mixed together. It's just really such a great product. Okay, actually I'm going to powder first. So I'm going to take my precision powder brush, pale yellow powder through the center of my face, take down any shine. The yellow is nice too, because if you do have any redness kind of peeking through, then yellow is going to help immensely. All right, going in with my bronzer from Natasha Denona. with my BK Beauty bronzer brush, doing those long ovals right under my cheekbone. And just giving a little bit of a sun-kissed glow to the skin, not spending too much time here. If you want to spend a lot of time, you don't want to use a brush like this. You want to use something like, like the Precision Powder Brush, or something kind of in between. Going in with my blush, which is Sweet Enough from MAC. It just gives a hint of a cheek. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my highlight, which might feel like an extra step, but I said this in videos before too. It's just, if I have my highlighter on, it just feels like it's more for me. Like, it's like painting my nails. It's just something special for me. If I have time to do my highlighter, then it's gonna be a good day. Okay, now we're gonna finish the look off with a little bit of Rose Official. You can tell this has been one of my absolute favorites from Lisa Eldridge. And then we're gonna finish off with Beauty Gloss. Smush that into the lips. Zhuzh the hair. And we are done. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I think this is a really fun one as we start to transition from all the way from holiday season into spring. It's got warm elements with the soft brown, but it also has a little bit of coolness with the Rose Official and Beauty Lips. So it's a really fun juxtaposition in your makeup and a great way to pull some of those fall pieces or warmer tone pieces into your wardrobe while still looking nice and cohesive with your makeup and your wardrobe. So thank you again for watching. I do beauty videos every Friday. I do fashion videos every Wednesday, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Hit the thumbs up and the subscribe. Bye!